All right, happening now, that is Trump Tower at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. We are waiting to see Donald Trump for the first time this morning before he leaves for his historic criminal trial. We're waiting to see if he speaks. We're waiting to see if he stays awake. He appeared to nod off during the trial yesterday during jury selection, and we are waiting to see when and if they can select a single juror.
Joining us right now, criminal defense attorney and former federal prosecutor Seth Waxman. Thanks so much for coming in, Seth. So based on how things went yesterday, how long do you anticipate jury selection to last? I mean, would you venture to guess that they're going to seat a single juror today?
That may not happen. I would expect this jury selection process to go on for at least another few days to a week, or maybe even more. Some people estimate we could still be looking at this by the time Memorial Day rolls around.
More than half, as Chris and John were just talking about, more than half of the first group of prospective jurors dismissed almost immediately, saying that they could not be unbiased in hearing the case. Did that surprise you? I've gotten mixed reactions from this. It's either quite rare to have a fail rate of over 50%, or this is just part of the process and this is a high-profile case. What do you think?
You know, I view this as glasses half full. You know, if you had asked me, if you looked across this country to jury pools and told the jury that, look, you can leave for essentially any reason at all. You can say you're not going to be fair and impartial, or you can't be. And I, the judge, I'm not going to pull you up to the bench. I'm not going to scrutinize you. You can just walk out, essentially get a free pass. I would think that a lot of jurors would say, oh, I can be with my wife, my kids, my job, my husband. I'm out of here. But in this case, we had nearly half that remained. They answered that fundamental question that they could be fair and impartial, and that is really the biggest hurdle. So I was emboldened to the idea that we have essentially half a jury pool on the first day that says that they can sit in on this case.
A glass half full. I mean, we rarely get that, Seth. You're going to have to stick around for us and hang with us for a while.
Positive thinking, right? Positive thinking.
Before jury selection began, John was talking about this. Most of the morning had to deal with picking up loose ends, I'm going to call it that, but dealing with some important questions about what evidence and testimony the jury is going to be allowed to hear and see. One of the pieces of evidence in question was that infamous Access Hollywood tape. The judge says it cannot be played in court. It can be discussed. That's kind of upholding a prior decision that he'd made. That is a win for which side? What do you think of that decision?
Yeah, I think it struck the right balance. Look, Donald Trump and his team do not want that evidence coming in. And that talks about things that are highly prejudicial, essentially intimating about some sort of sexual assault. That is not what this case is about. This is about a false business records case. So I thought the judge struck the right balance, only allowing certain evidence to come in, but excluding what would be considered highly prejudicial. And the judge and the parties are also very focused on an appeal. And so the judge is trying to eliminate potential areas of appeal and keep this trial focused on the key issues that are at play.
Seth, Donald Trump has been really focused on the gag order, saying that they're silencing him and he can't speak up. That is not accurate. The gag order is specifically tailored to, he can't comment or criticize family members of kind of those involved with the case or potential witnesses. So they now have, with that in mind, they now have a separate hearing scheduled for next week, kind of like a trial within a trial, to determine if Trump has violated the gag order. Prosecutors say it's because of comments that he's made about Michael Cohen, a potential witness. And also on Monday, Trump reshared a video of a far-right activist criticizing the judge's wife. What's going to happen here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any doubt that he violated the letter of the judge's gag order by calling Michael Cohen a sleazebag, for example. The practical way this will play out is difficult for a judge. I mean, the ultimate remedy a judge has is to incarcerate a defendant who is violating the court order or flouting a gag order, but that's not realistic in this case. I know that the prosecution has asked for a $3,000 financial penalty. Query whether $3,000 has any impact or even registers with Donald Trump. So I think the judge is going to hold this hearing to make it clear that he's not going to just let things go. But what ultimately happens to Donald Trump is maybe more of a slap on the wrist, but the judge is going to do everything he can to keep this trial moving forward and in compliance with the rules that he lays down.
Yeah, and keep a handle on it all. Seth Waxman, it's good to see you. Thank you.